I personally feel like I don't always have time for reading, which is really hard because I do love reading. It's very relaxing to me. And I think that other people most likely also have that problem. And that is why they don't really consider themselves a reader, or they don't get into it very, I don't want to say seriously, but it's harder for them to make time for it. So I thought it would be fun and helpful to make a video on like ways you can incorporate reading into your busy schedule. Some of them are ones that I don't currently do, but I think they would help other people in certain circumstances. But we're gonna get into all of that. My first recommendation, and probably the easiest one, is audiobooks. Pop on a pair of headphones, listen to some audiobooks while you do chores around the house. You can play your audiobooks in the car on your commute to work and back home from work. It's really versatile, however you want to say that. You can listen to your audiobooks at the gym. You can listen to them in the car, during chores, during a moment where it needs to be a... how do I explain it? When you have a lot to do, you can just kind of add it in as something you do in conjunction with something else. So I think that would probably be the easiest way to incorporate book consumption and story consumption into your schedule. My second recommendation is a Kindle, or really any type of e-reader, even your phone can do. They're extremely portable, so it's easy to take them around and just kind of read for a little bit while you have a chance or have a break. I like to bring my Kindle to work, and I will read on my Kindle during my lunch break. I take my Kindle along my morning routine with me. I will read it while I'm brushing my teeth or washing my face. Not like actively, but I think you get what I mean. It's easy for car rides if you're a passenger in a car, and as long as you don't get car sick if you read in the car. Every once in a while it still happens to me. You can use them for a new mom. They're really easy to use while doing nap time or other things like that with your kids. Just really wherever there are gaps or wherever you have the extra time is usually when you would use a Kindle. Like, say your baby fell asleep on you and you feel bad putting them in their crib. You can pop your Kindle right in your hand, and there you go. Nice and easy. It's also easier to read a Kindle when going out places. I like to bring my Kindle with me when I go out with a group of friends. Like if we're somewhere that is darker or we're outside and it's dark, I really like to be able to use my Kindle. I have a Kindle stand on my nightstand with the arm that can move around, and I'll pop it in there and use my Kindle clicker and be a lazy reader for a little while. It's really the most versatile way to read that I have found thus far. I also like having a Kindle because it's harder to ruin books when you're using an e-reader. My boyfriend's family has a lot of small children, and I'm terrified of them ripping, bending, playing with a book if I bring it to a family event. So bringing my e-reader helps ease that anxiety a little bit. I tend to bring it just in case and then not end up using it. But during lulls, it's easy to read like a chapter or two. So that is definitely a good recommendation that I have. Finding the best times is another really good way. So we'll do a little bit of brainstorming on when is easiest to incorporate reading. I think the easiest times I find that I can insert reading into my schedule is right before bed. Just sit and read for like 10 minutes before I go to bed. I usually end up falling asleep pretty quickly after doing something like that. Having a book in the bathroom so that whenever you're in there just doing whatever you're doing, you can read for just a little bit. Being a passenger in a car doesn't always happen, but that is a good time to do it. Road trips and vacations I utilize for reading so much. That's usually when I get most of my reading done. I also don't work in the summer because I work at a school, so the summer is when I get a whole lot of my reading done. Holiday breaks, I get a lot of reading done. If you have time in the morning, like while you are eating breakfast, I find it's really easy to read while I'm eating my breakfast, and that already gets me started for the day. If I run out of something to do at work and I just need like 5 minutes to myself, I'll read for 5 minutes and then get right back into my work. You just really have to find where the gaps in your schedule are, or just use an audiobook. I really like kind of multitasking a little bit. I'm one of those people where like I feel like I need to do everything all at once. So I will listen to an audiobook while I do homework. Since I'm in a graduate program right now, I am in a book club, so that gives me an easy excuse to read a book because I need to finish this book for my book club. I have a meeting for my book coming up in 2 weeks. So that's a nice way to find an excuse to make time for reading. Really, just any gap you have in your schedule, you can put reading in there. Or really any hobby. You can put almost any hobby into almost any gap in your schedule. And I just feel like reading is my current big hobby. It has always been a pretty big hobby for me, but I've lately been getting more and more into it again, which is really nice. It feels really good to be reading again. I had a huge gap in college for my undergrad where I just like felt like I didn't have time for it, and I just really never did it. And now that I'm back into it, I feel so much better. Like, I don't know. I feel like I have a little more energy. It's a nice, calm activity. I like to read while my boyfriend plays his Xbox so that we can just kind of cohabitate and exist together. It's just an easy way for us to both get our hobbies in and still spend time with each other. So that's really nice. I have some couple friends who will like read a book together before going to bed and stuff like that, which I think is really, really cute. Also, if you have kids, use them as an excuse to read books. If you want to read them a bedtime story, pick something that you can both enjoy. I think that certain books for certain ages are a lot easier. I was reading chapter books a lot earlier than my peers, so it made it easier for my parents because they could pick books that they also enjoyed to read with me. That was probably what first got me really, really into reading, is my parents. So, special little tidbit. But that's really all the advice I have. If you have any other advice, please put it in the comments. I love hearing stuff that other people come up with. I will see you. I'm not sure if this is going to be on a Monday or a Friday, so I will see you next time. Happy reading. Enjoy reading when you can.